All right, so now that we've done with causing miscarriage, which is a major chunk of that particular topic, we're going to be dealing with the other type, that is causing injury to an unborn child. So where an act, so you have two kinds of acts that's causing there. The first one is an act committed to prevent the child from being born alive. So you have, this is primarily where you're curbing a superstitious beliefs of, especially when you have female feticide prominent. In those cases where you have committed certain act so that the child is not born alive or causing the child to die immediately after the birth, and you do an act in order to prohibit the child from being born alive. So it can be that the child is born dead, so you administer certain kind of food or drugs so that the child dies and it comes out dead, or immediately after the birth there are certain customs where rice is put into the nose of the child that the child dies out of suffocation. There are multiple cases where nurses have recovered a child from the a child who was presumed to be dead that was buried alive. So in all those cases are punished. So, and that is beyond mere termination of pregnancy where the child would be born, but the fact that the child would be either born dead or you cause the death of the child immediately after the birth for various cultural reasons. In that case, the punishment is up to 10 years and fine. Now, second one is where the death of the child is not the focus, but the death of the child is resulted as a result of an offense under culpable homicide. For example, the purpose was to murder or cause culpable homicide of the woman carrying the child. And in that case, where the woman does not die but manages to survive, but the child dies in that process, it is said to have they have said to have committed an offense under 316. For example, where there is a fight and then the pregnant woman comes in between, and the woman gets kicked in the abdomen or a blow on the head, which is can may not cause which may be intended to cause the death of the woman, but it actually does not result in the death of the woman and it causes the death of the child. They've said to have committed an offense under 316. Now the second category of offense here is exposure or abandonment of child. Say for example, the child is born and you cannot retain that child. In that case, say for example, you abandon the child in a railway station, or you abandon the child in front of a orphanage, child care centers, and or you leave them to a faraway land and faraway place and you move off, or you leave them unattended deliberately by a law person who has a lawful custody of the child with the intention of abandoning or causing the death, not death, abandoning the child, and the child is below the age of 12, they are punished with the offense of 7 years or fine or both. You would have come across these scenes where CCTV cameras have captured parents leaving a child in metro stations or railway station, and in those cases the parents hold a liability for abandoning these children, because children below 12 are treated to be incapable of taking care of themselves. And in that case, where the person who has a lawful capacity fails to meet up to that, there the guardian or the parents would be held liable. If you've noticed something peculiar about the punishment is that it is alternative to fine. The reason being, if the child is back with the parents, if the parent happens to go to the jail, then it affects the interest of the child. It is why it is also settled with fine.